say late August, April.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay.
Pretty nice.
My roommate in there, nobody's been talking about.
Yeah, my son got down, he was gonna be all stuff. Then he'd be like, 2 years.
Very.
It started to turn on Sunday, that's time. But he pulled back.
He just laughed.
Yesterday.
Just wants to go.
Graduated.
Yeah, of course it's long. Yeah, he's pushing it along.
It was like 8 something.
Then I got, it's on. It's moving across the way and
Everybody's getting fixed up and we're getting everybody back.
that's right, we're all
Back on the front lines.
I feel guilty for the last 4.
Eric can do rehab together.
He's got pearls.
Yeah,
truly kind of the beer.
yeah.
But
Oh,
you be the witness. I did not even text you during that
I
game.
know, I know.
And didn't, even after the game.
Which game was that?
Cowboys and Cardinals, I was there live.
Cowboys decided to have favor.
Yeah.
You were there live?
Yeah, we drove down to Dallas and drove back.
It's a long trip.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was a good experience. I had been there in a tour of that stadium, but I hadn't been there in a game. Back in the
What
day.
if Ron was watching the game?
Oh, I'm sure he was, and he was clapping the whole time, probably.
I think my neighbors heard me. My neighbors heard me hollering.
Ron, how you been doing?
Okay, good.
Good.
Okay.
Haven't talked to you in a long time.
I know, it's been a bit. Well, you've been traveling down in Yuma and
They all asked for you, and wasn't lucky enough to win the copper plate.
who did?
Someone out of Maricopa County.
Oh, jeez.
What a bummer.
I got 2 of them.
Yeah, they said that you had quite a streak on. Jason Whiting was telling me about how lucky you've been.
Yes, it was
They thought it might be perhaps part of a setup.
I even called it. I'm like, I was telling Richard, I was sitting next to him, like the first one, I'm like, I don't want to win any of this other stuff. I want to win that bowl. And then it gets to the end, I win the bowl.
Empire 5-gallon bucket and a hat.
Well,
I think by the time it's over, everybody wins.
yes. I'm like, I don't want to win any of this other stuff. I want to win that.
How you doing, Gary?
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to kindly ask you to either mute or turn off your cell phones, please. And we'll begin by asking Supervisor Campbell to lead us in the pledge.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll move into our next item of business, call to public. Anyone out there want to address the board? State your name and title, please.
Jean Swennison. I work part-time in engineering, and I had made a trip up to Prescott last week for the Wildland Urban Interface, and I just wanted to thank the fleet department. I'm not used to a vehicle in which everything works, including the dome lights and absolutely everything. It was almost culture shock. So anyway.
Well, thank you, Gene. Okay,
Oh,
anyone else?
This is Austin Adams from the board's office. I just wanted to introduce our new employee, Mian Taveros. She is started with us on Monday. So
well, welcome.
All right,
to
welcome.
the family.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, our next item of business, unless there's anyone else on call to the public. Okay, here none. We'll go into our next item of business, Public Health Service District. Board of Supervisors will convene as the Board of Directors of the Greeley County Public Health Service District and will reconvene as the Board of Supervisors following consideration of this next item, the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as listed.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. Call for vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. We will now reconvene as the Board of Supervisors and we'll move into our next item of business. Flood Control District. The Board of Supervisors will convene as the Board of Directors of the Greeley County Flood Control District and will reconvene as the Board of Supervisors following consideration of this following item, consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as listed.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So ordered. We will now reconvene as the Board of Supervisors and we will move into our next item of business. Public hearing pursuant to ARS 4-201 for application for liquor license, owner transfer by Reed Pratt Larson doing business as Three-Way Store and Station, 154557 Arizona Highway 78 in Duncan, Arizona.
I move that we adjourn into public hearing.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. We are now in public hearing. Who wishes to speak
On this item.
on this item? No one? Okay, well then we'll get out of public hearing and we'll move into our next item of business. Austin Adams, County Deputy Administrator. Floor is yours.
board, this is a kind of a standard owner transfer. The store was sold and the liquor license. This is the transfer paperwork with it. Pretty standard business.
Okay, anyone have any questions or concerns? Okay, well, I entertain for motion.
I move that we approve of the application for the liquor license transfer by Reed Pratt Larson doing business as Three-Way Store and Station.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you, Austin. Okay, we will now move into our next item of business. Gabriel Guerrero, Lieutenant, the floor is yours.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm Gabriel Guerrero with the Sheriff's Office, a lieutenant there. And I'm here to request the purchase of 3 side-by-sides that with funding that we obtained from a Parks and Trails grant in September. And we got the the bid for well, somewhat local, but the Epic Motorsports, because they were able to provide the colors that fit our agency and the equipment. The other ones that we went to were able to do the police package upfitting. It would be all different lighting and different colors of the vehicle, so we weren't able to. So each one's going to cost $65,965.10 for a grand total for all three of $197,895.30.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Concerns?
Nope.
Can I clarify one thing?
Sure.
Mr. Guerrero, you received, not bids, but, quotes on these as an individual machine each, correct?
Yes.
So that's how we'll motion to make
Yep.
the motion. Okay.
Yeah, I had another question too. So you're going to receive these with everything that you want on them, and they'll be
Yes.
fully fitted out for you?
Yes.
Okay. So they won't have to go back out to another group
No.
for outfitting?
No.
Thank you, Mr. McGurrow.
Deal.
All right. Anything else? If not, I entertain for motion.
Well, I move that we approve the side of 3 individual side-by-sides with the funds from the Trails and Parks grant in the amount of 65,965.10 each from Epic Motorsports, Gila Valley.
And I second that motion.
Okay, motion has been made in second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.
Good
Okay,
job getting that grant.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Guerrero. Thank you for your help.
Okay, we'll move into our next item of business. Item number 7, Reed Larson, County Engineer. Floor is yours.
Good morning, gentlemen. To introduce this agenda item and have Austin show you a couple of pictures. This is our construction and demolition sale at the landfill. This is about 5.5 years ago. This is looking northish, up toward Loma Linda. And then, so that's a big empty cell, 300 by 300 by 30 feet deep, that Swaps Construction built for us. And then we'll fast forward to the present time. And this photo is was taken, probably 10 days ago. And it's not quite at exactly the same angle, but it's taken from roughly the same vantage point. And where that hole was, there's now a mound of material, and you can see the chatter there is kind of the working face of that C&D cell. Mr. Manus and the guys at the landfill have done a good job of compacting that waste as it comes in. And they've really gotten a lot of life out of that cell that was constructed 5.5 years ago. But we are to the point where we're running out of room on that cell. And it's time to get a new C&D cell permitted through ADQ. And we have proposals from 3 companies. And my suggestion to you is that we go with the Oak and Associates, in large part because they are the least expensive, but also because they've done work for us in the past, and that Mr. Hoke is wonderful to work with, very knowledgeable. He knows the folks at ADQ, and he's able to, in my opinion, streamline that permitting process and get us to the finish line quickly. And he has the ability, the knowledge to help us. We are being permitted under very favorable circumstances, meaning that we don't have to line the cell with any kind of a geomembrane or clay. We don't have to do groundwater monitoring. And those are issues that he's aware of, and he can help us so that we keep those favorable terms with ADQ.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Ron.
I see the budget expenses listed at 55,000, but the bid from Hoken Associates is 35,900. It was the 55,000 a not to exceed amount, because I understand that the 35,900 is a T&M proposal.
Yes,
not
sir.
a lump sum.
So our boss has been training us department heads to not necessarily come or give in your packet a prejudiced recommendation, so that you can stew over your material and make decisions without that influence until we get to the board meeting.
Mhm.
So that's just a fail safe in case for some reason you decided to go with one of the more expensive
Oh, okay.
consultants.
But you believe that the 35,960 is going to cover this task, or?
It wouldn't be unusual for there to be some change orders. It depends on like the reviewer that we get at ADQ and how inquisitive that person is. So it might be appropriate to say that amount plus 10% for changes.
Okay,
If
that's what I was getting.
inclined.
So I was wanting to get out of you. But you know what I mean? To set a not exceed or something.
Or you could do it for that amount, and then if there are change orders, we just have to come back to you.
Yeah, but you know, that's just other paperwork and stuff so. Okay.
You don't think it'll exceed 40, do you?
Pardon?
You don't think it'll exceed 40,000, do you?
No.
So let's do that.
Yeah, go ahead, do that.
Okay. That was my thought.
All right. You done, Reed?
Yes, sir.
I entertain for motion.
Well, I move that we approve of the consultant selection to prepare the aquifer protection permit modification to be submitted to ADEQ for approval to construct a new construction and demolition cell at the Loma Linda landfill to Hoke and Associates in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
And I second that motion.
Okay, motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by, is there any further discussion?
No.
Okay. Call for vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you, Reed.
Gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Okay, we'll move into, now we'll go into public hearing. I entertain for motion on this item.
I move that we adjourn into public hearing.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Okay, we are now in public hearing.
Did you push lights again? Feels dark.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Aiden is out today, so I'm covering for her. This is a P&Z item that the commission considered a few days ago. So Mr. Corbell is seeking to change the zoning of his parcel. This is in Duncan, close to Chaparral Road. And the current zoning is that problematic RU 36 that we have throughout the county. He desires to change that zoning to an RV zoning to allow RVs. And with our commission, we had 7 commissioners present. 5 voted in favor, 1 voted against, and 1 abstained because of his proximity to that parcel. And there's a view of it up there on your screen. So you can see the school over to the right and Chaparral Road running up the left side of that parcel in red. Mr. Corbell is here, and I believe there are others here that may wish to comment on this.
Could you go over what was the vote for planning and zoning again?
There were 7 commissioners present, 5 voted in favor, 1 voted against, and 1 abstained. And we also received letters on this that were read to the commission, and I have those with me.
Okay, thank you.
And they should be in your packet too.
Okay, I have,
They are not.
What's that?
The letters aren't in that packet. aren't in the.
They were sent to the planning and zoning commission.
Okay.
Okay, I have a card here in regards to Chad Corbell, who wishes to speak. I'd like to inform you that you have 3 minutes, please.
All right, good morning.
You have 3 minutes.
Really the purpose of this is, this is Chad Corbell, owner of the property.
Okay,
The purpose is requesting to rezone to an RV, allotted property. I intend to put some RV spots on there. I don't intend to pack it full like you see a lot of the places, across the county. So that's that piece. I know that we've received feedback, concerns about the fact that we're going to be putting RVs there. One of the concerns that was brought up was water. I mean, it's not in the flood zone. There's, and the feedback that I responded to was, I don't know why I have to be the only person around there that accepts everybody else's water. I do plan to secure my property like everyone else around has done. There's some folks that have even built up a little berm to keep water from running on their, I plan to do something similar and secure the assets, whether I put an RV park, whether I put horses, whether I build a house at some point on that. I have a duty to secure my property and make sure that it's safe. Another concern was brought up about its proximity to the school. There's other RV parks in the county that are close to a school. I don't see how that's an issue. That's all I have to say. So I thank you for your time.
Can I
Thank
ask
you.
a question?
Yes, sir.
How many RV spots are we talking on this? And what is the acre total?
It's 3.5. It's about 3.5 acres.
Okay.
I plan on starting off with about 5 to 6 RV spots. If I can even fill those, then I would think about maybe putting another 5 to 6 or whatever the standard would be per septic setup, right? Want to make sure I follow all the rules there, but really a handful to start with and see where it goes. If I can't fill that, then there's no reason spending more money and doing more with it. So
Is there anything on that property right now?
nothing's on it.
And was your vision to, I'm sorry, you don't have the thing there and I don't want to eat up your time and you're not gonna, but in that, it's kind of looks like the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
With the, but with that panhandle over there. But I mean, I'm assuming in the larger section is where you're going
Yes.
to want to
Yes, sir.
put those in?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And I need to level the property out. So that'll be some things, whether I put a house on it, again, all this just needs to be done when you build whatever on it. So, and there's a lot, yeah. So.
Got it.
understood. Will, you have any
Are you
comments?
planning on putting any in the panhandle area potentially?
As it stands today, no, but potentially. I mean, I right now, no, I want to put it in the larger area, but I would need to get in there and see. I haven't done any work on the property yet, so
Okay.
probably not though.
Thank you.
Maybe a storage facility on the panhandle area.
There were the letters that were received by the planning and zoning, they're all the same letter. They're signed by different individuals. Dennis and Marion Waters, Richard Herod, Jerry Waters, somebody, Michelle Waters, and another one I can't read, but you can each read one. They're all the same letter.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Corbell. Okay, I also have a Richard
Probably verbal. I said Herod, but it's verbal. It's verbal.
Herbal. Wish to speak?
Matt here on what Mr. Carbell's planning on doing. That's a wash. So when he says level, is he gonna build it up where he puts all the water whenever it runs onto everybody else? Or is he gonna just level it out where it floods his RV park? That's one of the questions, plus children in, let's see, if I can get this right. I'm gonna cut out the 5,000. There's kids at 80-80, grandkids at 80-50, kids at 80-46, close to home and Head Start. And plus, I've got a water well that's real close to this. So where's he gonna put his septic tank? You know, and then, like I said, if he builds this up, that is a wash, okay? You can look at the map and see that that's a wash. And we had a weatherman show up this last bit and said, oh gee, I seen a heavy rain and it wasn't running. We have not got a heavy enough rain. I've seen 2 foot of water running across my place with coolers, spare tires, and everything. So if he builds it up, that just means there's going to be more on all the rest of the neighbors. So that's a complaint. Plus the kids, when you start putting in trailer parks, you bring in all the trash in the county. So what are we going to do if a pedophile or something moves in there? Are they going to register? Are they not? And like I said, the berm was there when I moved into that place in 94, and it doesn't plug the wash. It diverts it a little bit and runs right in front of my house. The culvert that's there has been plugged for years. So who, county, city that owns that road, why has it been blocked? So, you know, they just let it get blocked and everything. But that's what I have to say is the people that's going to move into this, do you want to put an RV park next to these nice homes up in Morenci or someplace else when he could have picked another better place to put an RV park? So, block so it floods everybody else, or what's he going to do? You know, he said level it. Okay, you level it at wash level where all that water that normally goes down through there. We haven't had a wash since, I think it's been 10 years. And there was 2 foot of water in the house in, let's see, 8010, because it ran across the road through right through my, up to my back door and everything, and flooded this whole area right that he's talking about. And it was running across the road there. So is he going to block that and put all that water on the other waters, me, the waters, and all those other people that live there? And then across the street, of course. So that's my complaint. What's going to move into this RV park? And then what are they going to do with that ground? So, you know, when they voted on this, the way I understand it, a lot of them of these people, they don't even live there. So they have no idea what's going on in that area. Some of them, I think, live up here in this Freeport housing. Would they like an RV park put right there in the middle of all that? You know, so he could have picked a better spot. That's all I'm saying. So the ones that voted to let this go didn't think much of the people that's right around this little piece of ground. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Jace, I know we have, through the engineering department, we have, you know, guidelines and rules and regulations. And you have any comments, Reed, in regards to that?
Mr. Chairman.
Do we want to get out of public
Yeah,
hearing first?
The public hearing.
Get out of
closed,
public
and then
hearing?
Take recommendations or insights from staff.
All right. Okay. We will now close out a public hearing and move into our next item of business, which would be the planning and zoning. You Hayden, today, can you just inform us a little bit on some of the concerns that were brought up, Reed?
Yeah, I'd like to start by maybe defending the commission a little bit. Those gentlemen, they come from across the county, as you gentlemen know, from each of the 3 districts, and I thought they did a great job in that meeting. Some of them are new. We revamped the commission, and I thought they did their research and asked really good questions, and then voted, you know, according to how they felt. So I feel like the process was sound and valid up to this point. With respect to some of the engineering related concerns, if you as the board deem this an appropriate use for that parcel and vote to zone it that way, the owner, Mr. Corbell, still has some hurdles to cross. And that's, some of those are with the health department. So for example, the gentleman that owns a well, you can't put a septic system, the tank or the leach field within 100 feet of that well. And the density that he told you matches what he told the commission with respect to 5 or 6 units now, and maybe that many more again down the road a ways. But that'll be dictated by how well the soil does or doesn't leach, and they'll have to work with the health department to install on-site disposal systems that meet all the regulations. So in short, some of those concerns that are legitimate will be addressed further in the process. Just real quick with respect to the stormwater, there is a drainage that you see that flows from northeast to southwest across that parcel. The parcel is, relatively speaking, flat or gently sloping. And so Mr. Corbell, like any property owner, has an obligation not to change where the water exits his property or the intensity or concentration of that water as it exits. And I feel like he can accomplish that. And the last thing I'd say is RVs are actually, they're a little better from a FEMA floodplain point of view than a site-built house, in that typically stormwater can run under and around them. And also you can hook it up to your truck and get it out of there if you know that a big storm is headed your way. So FEMA looks more favorably actually on an RV park than on a site-built house with respect to flooding concerns.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
No, I think just a comment that, you know, we have that process put into place to run things through planning and zoning where they get the infinite details and speak on it. And it appears that the planning and zoning, there were 5 that voted for and 1 that voted against and 1 abstained. It sounds like, based on all the knowledge that they had at the time, that it was acceptable to the planning and zoning department, is what it looks like to me.
Will, do you have any comments?
Is that is that lot in the flood zone? Or any of those adjacent lots in the flood zone?
Dangerous. The FEMA flood zones are, just because you're not in doesn't mean you're not going to get flooded.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, that lot or none area are in they're all in zone X. So yeah.
Comment on it? About 9 years ago, when 2 foot of water and it flooded that whole area. So if he built that up, guess what? He's gonna get to stay out of it, and he's gonna push all that water on everybody else. So flood zone, they're talking about the river, not other stuff. So just because that area doesn't fall in the flood zone, doesn't mean that it doesn't get flooded every 10 years. So you need to look at that too.
Okay. So we're up for,
Well, I'll make the motion. Well, based on the positive recommendation by the planning and zoning department, I move that we approve of the request by Chad and Neva Corbell to change the zoning district of parcel number 500-08-051 from RU 36 to MH 18. That's it.
I'll second that motion.
okay. Motion has been made and second. I just want to make a comment based on what I've heard here in front of us here, that I think there is a solution to this, and I honestly believe with what Mr. Corbell and you, sir, have brought forth. I think that this is something that's possibly, well, that's doable as long as you work together along with our engineer in regards to all the guidelines and the policies that he needs to follow. I believe that this can be done and it can be done right. So with that said, I call for vote. All in favor?
Can I make a comment? Is that culvert on town property or county property?
I don't know that area on the north,
Because I know we did some paving on that road and that was a joint effort between,
yeah, it's going at the boundary between town limits and unincorporated town follows McGrath, and so part of McGrath is probably in the town, part of it's in county. Chaparral is in county, that part of Chaparral that borders this area of county. The angled part of Chaparral going out to I actually in the town of Duncan. So that town of Duncan limits and unincorporated county are very intertwined in that area. And so I don't know exactly where the code is. So,
I'd like to investigate that culvert and get that culvert cleaned out
yeah,
so it's draining properly. Which in my opinion, when culverts are cleaned out and drained properly, then they do relieve somewhat of the flooding. If there is an opportunity for that. And during rain events, it'll keep the water down to a certain extent. So I'd like to look into keeping that culvert cleaned out, putting on a program to check it, to make sure it's working properly. That's my last comments.
Okay. All right. Motion has been made in second, so I call for vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Okay. We'll move into our next item of business. Derek Pier.
Thank you. I'm going to turn brief period over for our legislative report. There's nothing new on the budget front at the moment. Other than I would simply say that we in Arizona, as every other state in the country is, are looking very closely at how the shutdown is affecting SNAP benefits. There's also changes made in the big beautiful bill that federal dollars flowing down to states. Also changes in the tax code. Arizona, usually one of the first things they do in the legislature each year is conform the state tax law to the federal tax law. Doing so this year will cause financial pain at the state level. So the biggest thing on the horizon we need to watch for is the effect of federal budget changes, how they affect state budget going forward. Many are predicting there will not be a surplus this year. In fact, there may be a deficit. With that, I'm going to ask Austin to cover the items that were passed at very briefly at the summit, just so we know kind of where those efforts will be focused.
All right. Thank you, Derek. So the summit was a good event. I know Will was there and Bianca. It was definitely a good event, as it usually is. The big priorities, again, court funding, talking about probation. That's a big priority for CSA. The transportation funding, again, the road system, especially ADOT funding to make sure our roads are in good shape. And then public safety pensions. Those are the three main priorities. As we went through, far as what was adopted, there's 7 legislative initiatives, 3 resolutions, and we had 1 that was for appropriation. So that's just a brief summary of what we went over.
And CSA sent out a good synopsis of all of those. So Craig does a great job at providing that information.
Agreed. And that's all I have.
Okay. Are we done with Derek and Austin and we're going to Bianca?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Clerk of the board, floor is yours.
Thank you. This upcoming Saturday, the 8th, is the Podium Memorial 9th Annual Suicide Awareness Walk. What time is that, Supervisor Campbell?
9. The program starts at 9:30, but
Next week, next Tuesday, our offices are closed in observance to Veterans Day. County managers is on the 14th. Our next board meeting is on the 18th. Eco Small Counties on the 19th. And Thursday, the 20th is CSA. Thanksgiving Day, our offices are closed. That's all I have for November. December 5th is county managers. The ACO conference will be the 9th through the 12th. And the 9th is mainly driving a travel day Eco on the tenth, CSA on the 11th. We do have one board meeting scheduled. That's Tuesday, the 16th. Christmas, the 25th, our offices are closed. That's all I have for December. January, New Year's Day, January 1st, 2026, our offices are closed. I did just add these meetings as per our usual dates. I know the board hasn't adopted a tentative meeting schedule. So all of these dates are actually just as per usual. So the first Tuesday would be the 6th, a board meeting, county managers on the 9th, small counties and ECO on the 14th, CSA on the 15th. Our offices are closed. Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, the 19th. So I did put our board meeting on Wednesday, the 21st. That's all I have.
On November 21st is the executive board meeting of Seago. And then you're done, Bianca?
I'm done, unless the board has anything else to add.
Anybody have anything else to add to this?
No, sir.
Okay. And thank you, Bianca. We'll move into our next item of business, the consent agenda. I entertain for motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as listed.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made in second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. So ordered. Last but not least, supervisor reports. Anybody have anything to report?
I'd just like to thank Austin and Bianca for attending the CSA Summit. My echo Austin's comments. There was a lot of information disseminated there, a lot of information we went through. We'll see how it all works out during this 2026 year of legislation. But it was good to be together and have Greenlee have a presence there and to be able to work together with the other counties. So I feel we have a big year ahead. As Derek mentioned, I think one of our major challenges is going to be the shutdown, kind of seeing where all the funds end up as they waterfall down to the counties. So we're going to have our work cut out for us this coming year. But I feel that as we continue to stay in touch with CSA, we'll be well informed about what's coming up. So thank you very much.
Okay. You, Ron?
No, nothing for me.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to make the comment also. Thank you, Will and Bianca and Austin for being there. I wasn't gonna put my wife to drive me all the way over there and back, so all the way to California and back. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for being there and thank you for that report. And this meeting is adjourned.
It worked.
All right.